Meeting called to order.
Mic on.
Councilmember Chapman.
Mic on.
Mine's not. Mic's on.
Nope.
We need mics.
Mic's on or on.
I got mine.
Where's the APTV go?
Well, just be loud.
Okay. He can hear it there.
Well, we got to allow the crowd and they can't hear.
Meeting called to order. Councilmember Chapman.
Here?
Councilmember Clayton. Here. Councilmember Kendall is absent. Deputy Mayor Quinn. Here. Mayor Moore.
Here.
Please stand for a silent prayer, a moment of reflection. We will now salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 7, 2022, and posted on the bulletin board the same day. All notices are on file with the city clerk. We are now on to proclamations. We have a proclamation recognizing Dara Reyes for her service to the city of Asbury Park.
We're going to ask Dara to come up and then everybody here for Dara to come up after we read it. All right. Whereas the city of Asbury Park, Dara Meja Reyes, a rising star among future leaders of our community and nation, was born and raised in the city of Asbury Park. 17-year-old Mexican-American descent who's determined to live life to the fullest and achieve her wildest dreams. Dara's commitment to excellence shines through in her academics, extracurricular activities, and civic engagement, which includes serving as student body president at Trinity Hall High School and a blogger for News 12. April is National Internship Awareness Month, and internships are hailed as an excellent way to gain real-world professional experience through meaningful opportunities. During her time of service as an intern in the city of Asbury Park, Dara's contributions have undoubtedly made an impactful and meaningful impression upon all who have had the pleasure to work with her. Her internship with City Hall is one of the many stops in her life's journey as she is set to pursue her degree at Yale University this fall. Mayor Moore and the City of Asbury Park Council hereby acknowledge and thank Dara for her indomitable spirit, commitment, and excellence of service, and we wish you the very best of luck at Yale everybody who's here for Dara, which I think is quite a few of you, to just come up. And we're also going to ask Elena from Sisters Academy, which is where Dara went to school as well, to say a couple of words. So very, very proud of you, Dara.
Thank you. All right, well.
I don't know if it's working. You just talk loud.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. It means a lot to see everyone really who supports me and has definitely supported me along this entire journey. Second of all, not second of all, but I know one thing that I really hold to my heart is my faith, and I know that without my faith community, I definitely wouldn't have been able to make it this far. And I know that the perseverance that I've been able to conjure these 4 years of high school definitely comes from God, and this is really nothing short of a miracle. And that's not to say that it didn't come with a lot of sacrifice and hard work, both on my end, but on my parents' end, and that's why, you know, a lot of this I owe to them for everything they've had to sacrifice. truly, I can't even articulate in words how much it means to me, everything that they've done for me. And really, this is not just a testament of my own hard work, but of theirs and of all you guys and how you guys supported me. So once again, thank you. And yeah, I'm really appreciative for every opportunity that I've had.
I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our Lieutenant Governor, Kim Guadagno, who please come up here for a picture. And this is you. Elena, and all of you can start to come up. Elena's going to say a couple words. Kim, come up. Everybody, I see everybody over here come up. Come up. This is
I have my teacher's voice. So. Just use that. Yeah. Hi, my name is Elena Malanconico, and I am the principal of Sisters Academy. Wait, I'm gonna wait. Everybody's here today.
If you are here for a day, right, get up here.
How are you? Good. See you again. Where are Mom and Dad?
Right here. Right there. Wow. Oh, my parents are right here. Okay.
Congratulations.
I think we need to do a selfie too.
I just wanted to congratulate Derek. I want to, again, my name is Elena Malanconico. I'm the principal of Sisters Academy. We're a grade 4 through 8 middle school that Dara attended here in Asbury Park. I was not the principal at the time, but I have heard nothing short of miraculous things about what she did during her time there. When we found out this was happening, teachers came, students were excited that knew her. So I want to congratulate you for your accomplishments. I want to congratulate your parents for being such a wonderful support to you. And look at all the support she has. So with all of this, how can she fail? There's no way. So congratulations.
Anybody else want to just say a couple of quick words?
Well, I was long enough to see her President of the United States.
I just want to say something quick. As her pastor, I'm her pastor, known her since she's been a little girl, and she's a dreamer. But there are a lot of people who are dreamers. She's more than a dreamer, she's a visionary. And a visionary is someone who makes their dreams come true. That's the
We want to thank all of you for coming out. Thank you for lending us Dara as an internship at City Hall. She survived. We are not for the faint of heart there. So congrats.
Picture with the Mercy Center group, the Sisters Academy.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know who that is, so I'm going to defer.
I really think
That wasn't nice.
right? That would have been a great, everyone back. They could just put that on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, no, that's okay. Thank you, though.
Say boo boo.
Thank you. And anyone who was here for the proclamation doesn't have to stay for the rest of the meeting unless, of course, you want to, feel free, but you are not required, you're not required to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Oh, yeah, timed out. I'm going to defer them because we have two people here for them. Okay.
Jay, don't hit it. Jay.
We're good. You want me to move on? You ready? Okay. We are now on to items to be presented. We have a presentation by Shore Point Architecture and T&M Associates for the new Asbury Park Fire Headquarters. And Fire Chief Kevin Keddy.
Change the source.
No, we haven't changed it this month. That's such a HDMI. I'm gonna put
Do not change it.
your laptop work there. It's not gonna laptop.
No, it's not.
Jay's laptop broke, so we're gonna try to get it up there, but.
Apologize, Mayor and Council. Good evening. We are here tonight to present the Asbury Park, new Asbury Park Firehouse Fire Department Headquarters building. I did take delivery of printing out an 11 by 17.
I think you're gonna need a microphone because people can't hear you.
Speak up.
Okay,
I'll try to speak as loud as possible
that's better.
until I get back to the microphone. Don, would you like a copy?
No, thank you.
Again, thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to present this project. This is a very important project for the city of Asbury Park. We are contemplating and designing a new firehouse for the fire department to be located on Memorial Drive
What about affordable housing?
between Springwood Avenue and Bangs Avenue.
What about affordable housing?
Sir, we'll get to that next when we're done with the presentation. We'll have the public session after the presentation. But right now, we're gonna deal with the presentation. Thank you.
The firehouse is to be
What
located,
about affordable housing?
Sir, if you're gonna keep on interrupting, I'm gonna have to have the police remove you.
You talk to somebody about affordable housing. Is that critical?
We will talk about that when we're done with this presentation. Can you please hold the comments to that? Thank you.
as you can see on page 2 of your packet, the proposed firehouse is to be located on what is currently the municipally owned parking lot on the west side of the tracks, directly adjacent and opposite of the transportation center. We'll go through a few items, but I wanted to first hand it over to Fire Chief Keddy, who will provide a brief overview of what you all know is the existing firehouse and a little bit of history of the project.
Good evening, and thank you for having us here tonight. We've made it this far, and might not seem like it, but I'm very, very happy and pleased to be here tonight to discuss this. Just a brief history, which most people know, but just in case not, I'm going to go through it. Our current firehouse was built over 100 years ago. It opened on July 1st, 1900. When it opened way back then, it was one of 5 fire stations. But as things changed, the needs of the department changed, and modifications to the current building were made. It served the city very well over the years. In 1960, we suffered a pretty substantial fire in the firehouse, which no doubt added to a lot of the problems that we're having there today. In 1970, as we outgrew the building, a 3-bay addition was put on the east side of the building. And when I was appointed to the fire department in 1991, just a little bit of history, Chief Napolitani at the time proudly announced to all of us that we would be getting a new firehouse soon. As time wore on, the building began to settle and the deterioration accelerated. And in 2006, the Department of Labor ordered us to make some substantial structural repairs in order to keep the building open. After years of looking for various sites, I can't tell you how gratifying it is to be sitting here today. We spent a long time, many years, looking for sites throughout the city. The problem is in Asbury Park, it's pretty built out.
Problem is affordable housing.
And finding a location has proved to be very difficult and very costly. When the opportunity came for a city-owned piece of land adjacent to, on Memorial Drive, on the southern end of Memorial Drive, it appeared that this project was really going to become a reality. And I can't tell you how excited we are at the prospect of seeing this through. And with that, I am going to turn the presentation back over to Jay Herzog. And any questions? Do you want to come up, Steve?
Yeah, we're gonna bring Steve up.
Okay. It's okay. I've done this before. But take my seat.
So again, as Chief Ketty explained, property is obviously at a premium in Asbury Park, and this city-owned property is, although challenging, we feel it's a good central location with good access for the fire department. The building placement on the site is meant to maximize the building footprint, as well as to provide vehicular circulation, direct access to Memorial Drive for emergency vehicles, and an auxiliary parking lot directly adjacent to the building for fire department staff and visitors to the building and the public. We have here tonight with us our project architect, Steve Carledge from Shore Point Architecture, who will take us through the architectural footprint of the building. And first, if you flip your page to the first elevation view of the building, so that you can, and we'll let Steve take it from here.
Thanks, Jay. It's a pleasure to be here. As you can see, if you're looking at the rendered elevation, which is the front of the building, the Memorial Drive elevation, you can see that the structure is a 2-story structure on the south side of the building, and a good portion of the north side of the building is a 1-story. The thing that's going to dominate the front elevation are the 8 new apparatus bays, which you can see all fronting on Memorial Drive. The bays are varying in size, but we have sufficient capacity within the building to accommodate all of the district's current apparatus inside in those 8 apparatus bays. Additionally, on the first floor of the building, we have offices for the chief and the battalion chief. We have a dispatch area. We have the Fire Prevention Bureau's offices located on the first floor. We have a training room, which is essentially a classroom type space for training and instruction. We have an exercise room for the fire department personnel. And we have support spaces. We have PPE storage, gear storage. We have a scuba storage room. We have various supply rooms. We have decontamination areas and a workshop. Additionally, on the first floor, we have a couple of other public amenities. We have a community room on the northeast corner of the building, which if you flip to the next page, you'll see the first floor plan. There's a community room that can be used for any type of community activities. The room is situated with its own entrance off the parking lot. It has its own restroom, so it can be open when the rest of the fire department building is locked down and secure. The building the room for the community is approximately just under 700 square feet, which will accommodate 30 to 35 people for most types of activities. In addition to that, if you look at the left, back to the front elevation, you'll notice on the northwest corner of the building, there's a glazed area. That glazed area is an exhibit hall. And in that room will be the one piece of historic fire apparatus that the district owns and maintains. It'll be on exhibit there, and there'll be exhibit space for other fire department exhibitions that may or may take place. And that room also is accessible directly from the exterior for the public. If you go up to the other thing you'll notice if you're looking at the floor plan is that the majority of the space on the first floor is taken up by the 8 apparatus bays. There are 4 bays which are 18 feet wide by 80 feet deep, and 4 bays which are 18 feet wide by 60 feet deep. Those bays will have all services for the equipment to be serviced from above, electrical, vehicle exhaust, et cetera, all from above. The height of those bays has also been, because there's no other room on the site, the height of those bays is such that all of the cabs of all of the equipment can be opened and all equipment maintenance and vehicle maintenance can take place inside the firehouse. So we've got sufficient height to allow that to happen. If you switch to the next sheet, you'll see the second floor of the building, and the majority of the second floor is taken up by the residential aspects for the fire department. There are 16 bunk rooms on the second floor, all of which contain lockers for the staff. There are restrooms and shower facilities for the fire department personnel. There is a full-service kitchen, a dining area, and a day room where the personnel will be able to spend time when they're not out on a call. The entire building will be provided with emergency power. There'll be an emergency generator that will make sure that the building will operate no matter what happens to power from JCP&L. And we're going to set up the rooftop. There will be some rooftop mechanical equipment, but we're going to make sure that the majority of the rooftop remains available for a future solar array if the city would decide to go that route. We want to make sure we have a lot of flat roof area. We want to make sure that the building will be able to maximize its solar potential if in the future we decide to go there. And that's the building. I'd be happy to take any questions or go back to the site.
Why wouldn't we go with solar now?
We certainly could. We have not budgeted it yet, but if the city's interested, we certainly could add a solar component to power the building now.
Okay, well, what does it cost to work up the numbers?
Nothing to work.
Mayor, we can add anything. This is just an overall presentation. We haven't gotten to the design.
If Steve mentioned, if we want to do it in the future, and since everybody wants to get away from fossil fuels and everything, like, so the sooner we get the solar power.
Yeah, and it would be incorporated into City Hall as well. We wouldn't just do it on the fire department because the roof space isn't enough. We need enough more to generate, so it would have to be a comprehensive.
Thank you.
But we could certainly look at what we could do in terms of a solar array for the entire municipal complex.
Thank you.
And I just have one
And we
question.
do.
I understand that our fire department personnel will be able to do some on-site training in this building where in the past they had to go off-site for training?
You're correct. The one thing I failed to mention, if you look at the rear of the building in the center on the first floor plan, you'll notice on the rear we have a training tower. That training tower is 4 stories tall. And essentially, it's an open volume of space with an interior stair inside the training tower, which will allow all kinds of practice and exercise and training operations to take place, how to rappelling and things like that in a 4-story tower, which will be on the back of the building.
Currently, the building is in a commercial zone. Now it's going to be facing residential. Is there going to be anything in this building to mitigate the sound coming from sirens and coming out into the neighborhood?
Well, a fire siren is a fire siren. So when the sirens go off, the siren is a siren. The building itself, as I mentioned earlier, all vehicle maintenance, everything can take place inside the building with the doors closed. So other than the fact when the fire trucks roll and there are sirens, there will be noise from the sirens.
Fine. Any other questions? The only thing I would ask, and sorry, something fouled up.
Yeah, I'll get it on the website.
Right, can we get this up when it goes up on APTV so
Yep, we
everybody
will.
can see it? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Thank
If
you.
there are no further questions, I'd like to thank Mayor and Council for the opportunity to present. And we would like to, at this time, formally ask that the Mayor and Council support for the project and refer us to the Planning Board for a cursory review.
That'll be on the next agenda, Jay. We'll have the resolution to refer this to the planning board for the cursory review. I'll do that tonight.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you again. Mayor,
We'll put everything on the website. Yeah, we're not gonna hand that out, no.
We are on to matters from City Council. Councilmember Chapman.
So I just wanted to let everyone know that there'll be a citywide lake and park cleanup on Saturday, April 30th from 10 to 12. Sunset Lake and Park and Wesley Lake. The Sunset Lake Commission, Sunset Lake Conservancy, Wesley Lake Commission, Citizens and Friends of Wesley Lake, Environmental Shade Tree Commission, and Mayor's Wellness Committee will all help to clean up the lakes. For Sunset Lake, people will meet at Bond and Sunset. And for Wesley Lake, volunteers should meet at the beer garden. Thank you.
Councilmember Chapman.
That was it.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Clayton.
It's okay. Just on Saturday, April 30th, for anyone that has expired, unused, or unwanted prescriptions, they can drop off their prescription drugs here at City Hall between hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then on Tuesday, May 3rd, we're having coffee with the council person, and it's going to be councilperson Eileen Chapman and myself, and it's going to be at the Art of the Bean, which is 633 Cushman Avenue at 10 a.m. And please come out. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Nothing.
Mayor Moore.
Saturday, May 7th at Springwood Avenue Park, Mayor's Wellness Committee from 10 to 11, Zumba in the park. So if you can attend, please attend. Thank you, and that's it.
Matters from the City Manager.
I have nothing, Melody.
Matters from the City Attorney.
Nothing at this time, Melody.
We are now on to the public comment portion of the meeting. Do I have a motion to open the meeting to the public with a 3-minute time limit for each speaker?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any members of the public who wish to be heard, please go to the mic, state your name and address for the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. You'll stand up. We'll get in line.
Back there.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that microphone.
That
Yes.
microphone, yes.
Oh, I was gonna get up there.
Good evening.
Nice
Good
try.
evening, Susan Maynard, 1701 Ocean Avenue. Ocean Avenue, apartment 24D, senior citizen. I'm here today because I'm a casualty of a recent article I read in the paper about the RCA funds. In 2018, I forcibly sold my home. I was a homeowner here, 22 years into my mortgage. In 2016, I went down, came to City Hall to apply for RCA funds. I have a letter in my file that I was going to file bankruptcy and I was going to foreclose on my home, and that I was not eligible for RCA funds. I'm a disabled widow. There was no appeal process. There was no conversation. Ms. Maynard, you're going to foreclose. You're going to go bankrupt. I have a letter in writing. So I was actually happy to see that an investigation is going to be open. I have no generational wealth to leave for my children because I was forced to sell my home. I'm a disabled widow. My income changed dramatically. And the city, the process for that application was so simplified and so basic, I just could not understand why there wasn't an appeal process. And there was no effort made to support those who lived here. I was 22 years into my mortgage. I was told I was going to foreclose and go bankrupt. I don't know who made that determination, but your staff person. I have a copy of the letter. So I'm actually very happy to hear that the RCA program is going to be investigated. That's why I'm here today.
Okay, thank you, Susan. If you want to give us a copy of that letter, we'll gladly look at it. Thank you.
Patrick Lee Davis.
Please state your
Address?
name and address, sir, for the record.
I'm in the rescue mission, I'm homeless. I'm in the homeless rescue mission right there on Memorial Drive.
Okay, thank you.
I moved away from Asbury Park a year ago because I couldn't afford rent here. I worked on the Boston Way Village, tear down and build back up. I had a lot of high hopes of getting an apartment. I had a 12-year-old son with me, and I would reach out for help here in the city of Asbury Park, here in Monmouth County, for a single dad. But the cost of living here is just too much. I was part of the Mercy Center. I would go around there on 4th Avenue to, forget what it's called, but they were supposed to help you out with some type of housing. I'm back in the city of Asbury Park. I work at the Berkeley Carteret. I'm staying in a homeless shelter. I'm saving 75% of my pay. So, I go to a rooming house on Langford and Madison Avenue. There was a room open. I said, how much is this room? She said $1,100, $2,200 to move in. My son, he's all grown up. I've been in Asbury since 1976. My mother been here. She passed on now. But, I mean, at $15 an hour, 3 days rent, you pay for a hotel for like 3 or 4 days. Then, what do you do? I remember 2014, 2015 coming to these council meetings and getting high hopes about, affordable housing, jobs for the, Black people, training, $15, $16 an hour. I worked on a Boston Way Village for $11.50. And I worked circles around those people. I worked circles around them. And after all said and done, writing your name on a list to get a place to live, to raise a 12-year-old boy, there's nothing. I need help. I don't want to go back to Virginia. I grew up here.
Okay, and I'm going to, because we have a lot of speakers, going to have to keep you to 3 minutes, and I appreciate you and I appreciate your sincerity. Mr. Goodman's sitting over here. If you talk to him, he'll give you his card and you can meet with him as far as a couple of your concerns, workforce development, which maybe we can help you with getting something better, and also as far as affordable housing. So, Mr. Goodman's here.
I apologize for earlier outburst.
Sir, can I ask you to repeat your name?
Davis.
Patrick Lee Davis.
Mr. Davis, yeah. Okay. Patrick, thank you. And again, Robert, would you give him your card and see what we can do to help Mr. Davis as much as possible? And thank you, sir.
Hello, I'm Brian Kaufman. I live at 1538 Asbury Avenue. I've owned my house there for about 15 years. I can afford to live in it, and I am a responsible citizen and taxpayer most of the time. As some of you have experienced, if you're a day late or a penny short on your sewer bill or your tax bill, your home immediately is put up for auction, tax auction. And if you're lucky, you find out about it before it's too late. Apparently, the state and the city of Asbury Park have a really great system for keeping track of where money goes and where it's supposed to come in. I was disgusted, horrified, and embarrassed to read that article about millions of dollars in New Jersey tax money going to support affordable housing, and then people, profiteering on it with absolutely no record of this. If I'm a day late and can't just pay the late bill with a check like usual, but instead I have to get a cashier's check, go through a huge, onerous burden. Now, the last time this happened to me was within days after my husband passed away. I had a lot to do. I had a lot on my plate. There was no recourse. I got a lot of explanations from people on the city council and at City Hall explaining why I was just out of luck. There were rules in place and accounting systems in place. So I want to know, why isn't this, I forget what the name of the program is, RCA. Why isn't his master's voice simply getting the IT folks to incorporate these loans into whatever system you already have in place that is so effective that you risk alienating people like me who've thought several times now over the years of bailing out of Asbury Park. When I first moved here, realtors did not want to show me homes in Asbury Park because it was too racially diverse. I could have gotten a place in Wanamasa or Neptune, but I said no, I want to help the rebirth of Asbury Park. The thanks I get for it is nil. I would like to see people that have spoken before have access to the affordable housing that they deserve and that my taxes have paid for. So please, I would like people to stop saying they don't know what's happened to the money and find it and hold people accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaufman.
Hello, my name is Sanja Mack, born and raised in Asbury. Property we own on 1001 Sewell Avenue, but now I stay in affordable housing, the Asbury Park Housing Authority. I had custody of my grandkids. I couldn't afford it, so I had to go into low income where it's mice, infestation, murders, shootings. I come from property, but this place so high, I can't afford to go anywhere. So I gotta go in low income, coming from a house to low income, because we can't afford nothing around here. I think it's really sad and sick to come from this community and to watch the demise of this community by the hands of everybody in power of this community, and nobody want to be held accountable to nothing. Everybody want to pass the buck. Oh, it was such and such. No. Y'all placed in these offices to do your job, okay? None of y'all want to do your job. I've been here for my life. I done had so many opportunities, y'all, to work in the city. I worked for DPW as a truck driver. They got me out because I was the only woman and I was going to sue them. So they kicked me out. So now I'm blackballed through the whole town because they don't like me, my kids, or whoever. That's how they doing it. So now they give me an opportunity years later to come back in the city on some fake interviews but 2-3 weeks ago. Didn't get the job again. I'm a resident. I got degrees. I got things. I got a whole bunch of things, but I can't work in my own city because of them. Like, they all in favoritism. It's a big favoritism around here. If you know your cousin higher. If I know your sister, cousin, kid higher. This is what they do out here. All these fake meetings they got us in, all of these meetings is fake, just for them to put on the paper, we had a meeting. They not gonna care about none of us when we walk out this door, y'all. Y'all can tell. We can't even afford to live where we born and raised at. But yet they wanna sit up there, looking all confused and baffled and passing the buck. Well, I'm tired of this. If the rest of y'all tired, everybody needs to start speaking up about this is nonsense in this town. And they've been doing it for years. And that's all I gotta say. All of them up here, BS. Everybody in here. Have a nice night, everybody in the city, with this fake meeting and them fake people sitting up here. Y'all not gonna get nothing done here. That's all I came to say.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Are we at the clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sylvie Cooper. I actually recently moved from Asbury Park because I could no longer afford it, but I still work in the city. And I work at Jersey Shore Adult Daycare. What I've encountered thus far, honestly, has been atrocious. Reading this article, it saddens me. It saddens me to see that the very people, like she just said, that puts you in power are the one that's being failed by you. And the truth of the matter is, living in Asbury Park for the past 7 years, I had to move away to be able to, quote unquote, not become homeless. Because unfortunately, I actually had to sleep on people's couches and people's floors until I can finally afford a home. But you know what? Not everybody's as fortunate as I am. I had the backup of my church. I had the backup of my family and my husband's family. We got together. We wanted to be the difference. But a lot of people that I've worked with, even that gentleman that just came from the homeless shelter, they're the one that I serve each and every day. They're the one that I speak with. And even people, my own clients, losing their aid, their Section 8, because the rent, the landlords literally put them $50 above what the Section 8 threshold is. And they can't even afford what they're asking them to pay. So at the end of the day, I come here honestly flustered. Unlike that gentleman, at least I know how to a little bit channel my anger. And I'm frustrated. The truth is, I'm frustrated. Knowing that, like, you know, we have money sitting there, but only a few people get to use it. While you guys stay at home and get comfortable in your home, I have clients coming into my office crying because they don't know where they're gonna sleep tonight because their time at the shelter was over. And I'm calling social services, even on my way home, working overtime without getting paid for it because I want to make sure these people find somewhere to stay, begging them to please just give them one more night so that we can find a way to get them somewhere else. But that's their reality, not yours. But yet, you guys sit there and have the power and do nothing with it. So I sit here, I no longer live here, but I will not stop fighting for these people because I have families that live here. I have friends that live here. My church is still here, even if I'm 45 minutes away. So I won't stop fighting for the people who feel like they don't have a voice or who feel like they've been speaking but no one has been listening. So I hope tonight I can represent all those voices who didn't have the boldness to come back behind this mic or who didn't feel like they can come or did not have the ride to make it here. I can say I'm blessed and fortunate for my immigrant parents who got me here, but I'm also gonna always forever be here to speak on their behalf when they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper.
Good evening, Eric Gallipo, 908 Fifth Avenue. Good evening, council members. I had wanted to ask tonight about an update on 1201 Memorial Drive and what you are doing to commit to a transparent and engaged process that involves citizens in a meaningful way before you approve a resolution for a redevelopment area of that site, so that once it gets to the planning board, there is an actual opportunity for public input into that project. However, seeing how everyone here is speaking about affordable housing, I think it's also important that it's important to talk about how I see that problem affecting our community. As a 40-year resident of this town and somebody who lives in their childhood home, I have the exact same zoning designation as the property next to me. You are in the process of creating a plan to facilitate a development on that site that includes affordable housing, and I am 100% in support of affordable housing in all forms. However, with the exact same zoning on my property, I am permitted to produce exactly 0 units of new housing. 80% of this city is zoned for single-family housing, giving all of that property 0 opportunity to participate in the creation of new housing for these people who are looking for small units on double lots above garages in a house that has been subdivided from 1 unit into 2. That is a way that we have lived in Asbury Park for years. Beyond the fact that single-family zoning is exclusionary and counterproductive to the production of affordable housing, the rest of the property in town is owned and developed by big developers. Why are they the only ones who are able to participate in the creation of affordable housing, as well as the benefits of creating the ability for people to age in place in houses that have become too big, that can be subdivided, apartments over garages that are illegal, yet still have driveways that can park their own cars? It is really becoming a problem that so little land is available for development, but we don't actually update the zoning to allow more development to happen. There are knee-jerk reactions to how density might look or feel. Is it too tall? Well, you can't be a friend of affordable housing and an enemy of gentle density. It is something that we all have to participate in. We want people here. We need people here. We need children in the schools. We need people in jobs. We need people who can walk to the train station. 3 stories next to a train station is not enough. You have a transportation center that people can walk to every day. Why isn't 5 stories? And all of those units are affordable. Where are the ways that we are really digging into how our existing zoning actually disincentivizes affordable housing? I don't like to get this passionate because it makes me sound crazy, but it's something that we should all care about. And I appreciate the work that you do for our community every day. Let's do more. Thank you.
My name is Ketsia Bobrin, and I actually don't live in Asbury Park anymore. Grew up here, lived here the first 30 years of my life, 36 now. And I love this city. I wanted to be a part of this city lifelong with my family as well. Went to school here, graduated, went to college, came back home, wanted to run for city council as well, because I just I want to be a part of the change. But when I was able to finally run, we got an opportunity to move, and so we had to move. And we left and we went to Tinton Falls. I think it came off like a scandal. She was running for city council and now she's moving. But it was something that our family needed to do. The house that we lived in, 304 Langford Street, sorry, I really can't breathe. 304 Langford Street, lived there 25 years, hadn't been updated, I think, since the day we moved in. And so there was just so much that needed to be done that didn't happen until we left. And so now I don't live in the town anymore, and I come back and I see changes, I see renovations, and I see money going into a place that we lived. But it was just like, well, why not maintain it while we were there? Like, we paid, my parents worked, they wanted to make sure that we could stay there. They loved their home and where they were. And granted, we love where we are now, but there's nothing like being in the place that your child was raised in and being able to stay there and maintain it and eventually hope to own it and, work and have that American dream that everybody comes to this country and hopes to have. And I think the thing that's frustrating is, just like the article said, this is not information you're unaware of. So you said you knew about it. You said you had an understanding or you knew about the misappropriation of funding. And so while we are telling you our concerns and we're telling you our stories, I guess it's just like, what happens now? And the ball really is in your court. And I know that there's so many things that we don't see that you do. I don't take it for granted. It's not that we're trying to throw stones at you and think that you guys are not doing so many other things, but this is a big issue that affects a majority of a population that you don't hear from and that isn't benefiting you and that's taking money away rather than putting it in your, not your pockets, but adding to the city. And I understand that it can be draining to consider that, but it is your reality. It is your portion. It's something that you need to attend to. And while I don't get to benefit from it because I don't live here anymore, I would still love to come back. I still love to own a home here. This is my city. I'll forever be a part of the city. Doesn't matter where I go. People ask me where I'm from Asbury Park, New Jersey. And so I just pray that the kids who are raised here, grew up here, can have that same story and be able to say they still live here by the time they get to my age. So I don't know what the fix is, but I just hope and pray that with all that you're hearing, that you take it and you consciously make an effort to do something about it so that the next city council meeting we have, we're talking about changes that are being implemented, not that we still need change.
Thank you.
Hello. Tari Cooper, Sylvie Cooper's husband, used to live 1232 Monroe Ave. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys heard the concerns so far, and it's not bad to say that we've heard it from every walk of life, people who are investing into the community, homeowners, renters, and people that you don't normally hear from. You look at the other side of the city, You see a big urban decay going on over there. You look at this side, you see it's flourishing. One thing that goes back to affordable housing. What are y'all gonna do about it? That's it.
Thank you, Tyree.
Good evening, Pam Lamberton, Sunset Avenue. I hope you've been really listening to what people are telling you about affordable housing. And take a minute to think about the RCA program. Obviously, and we've been told this over the past couple of years, not just in this recent newspaper article, it has been mismanaged in the city of Asbury Park. I know you don't manage it. I know this problem started before you were elected, before our current city manager took her position. But you are in a position right now to fix it. Look down at that person sitting at that table. You need to establish a policy, tell the city manager it is the city's policy not to mismanage funds, not to have an RCA program that doesn't work, and to take that money, do whatever you have to do to fix that program so that the money is going where it needs to go to provide true affordable housing in this city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Myra Campbell, Madison Avenue, Asbury Park. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City Manager. I come before you because I'm as concerned as all the people that have spoken prior to me. But in addition to that, there are some concerns that I have. I know, because I've been there, I know how hard you work and all the things that you do that the rest of the public has no idea. But it does disturb me when my name is mentioned in an email, because I know it wasn't too long ago that there was a city employee that made a statement in the newspaper and he was sued by another city employee. Now give me a fair chance when you start putting my name out there, because I want to protect it. And having said that, I have to ask each and every one of you, did any of you go to the Coaster magazine when they did the big run-up, 150 years of history in the city of Asbury Park, and the first Black female mayor was not mentioned in that article? In my place, Mayor, they wrote stuff about you. And so that type of stuff concerns me about the city of Asbury Park. Because see, we see it going on all the time throughout history, where you want to negate, get rid of, deny the contributions of certain people. And so if you want to talk about it later, that's fine. Now, to get back to the topic at hand tonight, number one, I had an RCA grant. Not one person, it's paid off now. Not one person ever came to me and said, you have to re-qualify, or if you get another tenant, you have to qualify. The other thing I want to mention is in October of 2014, Don Samet and I had gone to a workshop. We brought that workshop here to Asbury Park that dealt with the impact of gentrification. It was at Mount Pisgah Church. And I'm saying, so for anybody could have come, but you can't say you weren't invited or you didn't know about it. My question to the council is, you have the facts, you have the information, all that has been presented to you. Only you can change it. It takes 3 votes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Myra, I'm not sure the email what you're talking about, so if you want to call me tomorrow, you've got my number, we've talked many times, but I don't know what you're talking about, so, but if you want to expand on it, please call.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Rita Morano, 8th Avenue. Okay. 5048. And talking to the mic. I wish you would too. There's so many things going on tonight, but I wanted to, the firehouse. Are we building a Taj Mahal or what? We don't need a community room. We have one right here. We have many of them. There's so many things in that fire department. The gym. They could go to a gym. They don't have to have a gym right there. What are we doing here? All we want is a firehouse. There's 11 fire companies around this town, and I'm sure they would come in here if we needed them. 11, I counted them. I mean, it's just a waste of money, and you have to borrow to build this firehouse. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the RCA loan, whatever it is. It's a disgrace that we get 4 full pages in the press on Sunday. I bought the paper, $4.49 for the newspaper. I mean, it's a disgrace that you have to be written up every day, and it's on our phones. Everything is, I mean, it's just so bad. It's not your fault. But I do want to ask a question. Did any of you get a RCA grant? I'd like to know the answer to that. I know some might apply. I don't know if they got it, like poor Susan, she didn't get it. She deserved it. I mean, it's just disgraceful what's going on around here. And then I heard that the business people on Cookman Avenue want to close the street. That's not going to happen because the street belongs to the public. I mean, there was an emergency, I could see it happening, but not anymore. They want the street, they have to pay for it. They don't pay a penny. And their garbage is disgraceful besides. They should be paying for their own garbage. We have to put our garbage in a can, and they have it laying out outside in bags. Cookman Avenue is really bad. You have to get after them. And the last thing I want to talk about is, let me see here. I wrote notes. I'm getting too old now.
Huh? You got to bring your glasses.
All right. I see you're going to hire a UEZ person. I counted how many employees we have. You know how many pages? There's 10 on the page. 23 pages of employees. Now, come on. We're only one little mile. Neptune City has 4 pages, 44 people. We have 200 and something people, 30, I think it is. I mean, where are we going with all of this?
Okay, Rita, thank you. As far as Cookman Avenue, Rita, do you want some answers? No?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, as far as Cookman Avenue, you're right, and we started to have weekend code enforcers down there, and they are giving out summonses. As far as, did I ever apply for an RCA loan and get one? No.
Rita, you are a treasure. Good evening, everyone. My name is James Keaty, 1120 3rd Avenue in Spring Lake. Mayor Moore, Deputy Mayor Quinn, members of council and staff. I am a former council member here in the city of Asbury Park. I'm also the former co-chair of the Subcommittee on Affordable Housing, the founding chair of the Subcommittee on Homelessness, and the former co-chair of the Springwood Avenue Redevelopment Committee. I was alarmed by the newspaper articles this past weekend. I was asked to come here tonight by the Asbury Park Affordable Housing Coalition to speak on behalf of residents who are also deeply concerned about not only the administration of the RCA program, but about affordable housing in general here within the city of Asbury Park. Questions that I believe need to be answered by the staff, and the council needs to demand the answers. How many renters were harmed by this program? And how many renters were forced out by landlords who illegally raised the rents if they were getting the RCA money? How many grants have gone out? How many liens were filed? Because every time one of those RCA grants is issued, a lien is automatically filed, and the lien is held for 10 years, And then if they comply with the program until when the 10 years is up, it then gets converted into a grant. How many properties were sold before the 10-year window? And if they were sold, they were sold at a profit, how many of those grants were paid back to the city? There needs to be a full accounting of those dollars. Who is currently monitoring the rent levels in all of the RCA program houses? Right, because they're supposed to meet, there are 3 levels of affordability. They're supposed to be meeting one of those 3 levels. Right? Who is designated within the city on the staff to be tracking each one of those properties and getting an accounting of the rent levels? I was disappointed to hear from a city staff member that I happened to run into at the grocery store last week that the subcommittee on affordable housing is not meeting. You're hearing tonight from the people of Asbury Park that this is one of the most critical issues. You don't need to do anything to reinvent the committee. I am quite sure that Mr. Raffetto can pull up the ordinance that created the committee. It would have 2 city council members as co-chairs, Mr. Raffetto, the city manager, the city planner. I believe you also get to add 3 at large. Thorough Fred, I'm sure, will look that up and tell you exactly. That subcommittee needs to be reinvigorated immediately. I would put that on the top order of your business to have that. I would also ask if there's a subcommittee meeting on Springwood Avenue, because there's inclusionary zoning that was put into that plan that calls for affordable housing. And I just heard that they're selling homes for $675,000. That was not the intent of that plan when former Mayor Johnson and I co-chaired that committee, and the 30 residents who served on that committee to create that plan. Those are supposed to be a lot of affordable units that are coming online on Springwood Avenue. 675,000 is not affordable for anyone coming out of the working class or the middle class. And I am more than willing to help. If you wanted to name me as one of those at-large members of the Affordable Housing Subcommittee, I would be more than happy to come and help the city in that regard.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I will say on a lighter note, for the long timers that are here, it's odd for me to be in this room and not to be arguing with Jimmy Bruno.
Hi, Linda Phillips, 1110 and a half Fifth Avenue. I'm a renter right now, and I'm about to retire, which means my income's gonna go down. I can afford to live where I'm living right now, but I don't want to think about what might be happening if the rents keep going up and I might have to leave Asbury Park. I would hate to do that. I've been here since 1997, and I'd like to continue to stay here and enjoy my retirement by the ocean. I was as upset as everybody when I read the article about what happened with the RCA program and everything here. And I know that you guys, this happened before you, and there's a lot you don't know about it, but I am pleading on behalf of me and everybody else in this room right now and the rest of the residents who aren't here, haven't been spoken for, that you should make a commitment. You need to. I don't want to say should, but I think you need to make a commitment to us tonight that you are actually going to do something. Do what Jim just said. Get that committee back up on its feet and find out what happened. Find out all the issues that you don't know about. Find out, appoint some people, get a lawyer to look into it and make it happen today, not tomorrow or next year or whenever. It really needs to be happening now, because every day someone is being forced out of this city because of the lack of concern about affordable housing. It's just not right. And I think I've spoken to a lot of you about these different kind of issues in town, and I believe you're good people and you know this. You know that it isn't right. So you need to do something about it to make it right. It is in your power to do that. You are the city council. We elected you for us, not for the developers, not for people who aren't even here, who can afford to spend $1 million on some fancy little place down by the water, while the rest of the people on the other side of town are having to leave their homes that they've grown up in and lived in for all of their lives, and their families have been here, and they're just tossed away. It's just not right. I wish you would say to us tonight that you were going to make a commitment to do that. And I think that enough of us are concerned about it that we will continue to come here and ask you to make that commitment. And if you don't make that commitment, then we're going to have to do something. I don't know what, but you need to do it.
Thank you.
Alex Trusotsky, 610 Sewell Ave, Asbury Park. So here we are again talking about affordable housing. I too was very disturbed by the article. I'm going to actually, and I largely support what everyone came up here and said before me, especially those residents who were so unfortunately moved out of this community. I know that many of you have heard me speak before about how unfortunate that is. But I think, the one thing that makes me incredibly proud is how much this city sticks in the hearts of everybody that's ever come to grow up here. And I think that we all recognize that that's something that's valuable. We've had this conversation many times going through the rent control ordinance. And I also want to make clear, city council is not a full-time paid position. Every single one of these council members does this out of the bottom of their heart. And I think even a couple city council meetings ago, we were talking about document retention and getting it digitized. So I think also a lot of the city council's records also paper. But again, for folk who get paid basically nothing. I mean, I saw Councilwoman Chapman sitting on a corner where they talking to somebody about an empty lot on a Sunday. I just want to keep in perspective here that the RCA program and how these funds were mismanaged is obviously an incredibly unfortunate reality. But I think we as a community should not lose sight of the reality that becomes all more clear every single time we talk about affordable housing. What becomes clear is there is a community of landlords and property owners in this community that is willing to go to the ends of the earth to take advantage of whatever public dollars exist to provide people with affordable housing, to preserve the character of this community so that we can have generations of families who are proud to call this place home, and have their kids call it home. And now, I know not everyone's been here for the rent control debate, and I don't know about having someone from Spring Lake sit on a subcommittee for affordable housing, but I do want our rent control ordinance to include 2-unit buildings instead of it just being 3 and up. I mean, hell, after tonight, I'd even say 1 for anybody who rents a home. And it just paints a bigger picture here, where I don't believe this is at the feet of the city council. This is at the feet of vulture landlords that have tried their best for their own profit to make living in this community untenable. I consider, I don't make a lot of money. I make an honest living, but at the end of I can barely afford to live here. And then you ask yourself why, and it's because these landlords, these property owners know what they can take advantage of, and not only did they do it, they did it with impunity. They did it with impunity. They took this money, they used it to improve their home, to their what's supposed to be affordable units, and turned it into an Airbnb. And, I know this city is stretched thin as it is. So, again, I'm not leaving this at the feet of the city. I'm leaving it at the feet of these landlords and property owners that have come here when we were talking about the rent control ordinance and making sure it covers all renters and said, oh, well, we're all great. When are we ever going to do something wrong? We didn't do anything wrong. There has been this type of misconduct happening for ages here. And it needs to stop.
Thank you.
My name is Jessica Indri Tejan. I reside at 81 Larchwood Avenue, West Long Branch, New Jersey. I work in the school system. I've seen the school population decimated over the years that I've been there. But I just had to say that I'm really galled that people are letting you off the hook because you all knew. And it said as much in the article. You all knew, but you chose not to listen. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Felicia Simmons, 1034 Sewell Avenue, Asbury Park. We spoke about, we're speaking here about the affordable housing tonight, but I say that's just part of another problem. It's the same story every time we come to the council. And the problem of the story is it's just there's no vision, and there's no vision. And the vision that might be held doesn't include me or most of the people in this room. We speak about future and what we know and what we didn't know. Well, I know for a fact it was all on the table. This isn't new. It might have started under other people's watches, but it ended and hopefully will end under yours. It continued to happen. This young lady was under your watch and your purview. To say that this is just about affordable housing, it is not. It is about the plan that was made 20 years ago with the change of zonings, with the lack of fiscal help or responsibility. It's about 40-something, 50 years ago, when the riots happened and all the influx of billions of dollars of federal funds came into this community, and it went out of this community and continues to come through this community of billions of dollars. It is the reason why there's the grant issues of the greater Asbury Park, because we are the only federal urban seat in Monmouth County, and the poverty of my community have been big funding for multiple communities. It is a problem. We're sitting here talking about the affordable housing issue when I sat here a few minutes ago in another room when someone said 20 years ago this was on the plan, right? And this is the plan, because there's something called the 10-year master plan, which actually it was only one minority on the plan, and that was our councilwoman, right? We weren't included in that plan about 5-6 years ago when the zoning was changed. And the small different zonings that were changed, like Asbury Avenue, and the minute changes that might not matter to us now, but it'll be our kids here, like I'm standing here 20 years later, right? It can start under you. It didn't start under you, but it's ending and proceeding under you. And again, it is because, and I don't need any answers back, right? I'm really just talking to you, right? It is a plan. It is a vision. It is a vision with everybody at the table. And again, I say it all the time, I don't want to just be invited to the table right through the back door, right? Where I get to sit there and it looks cute for me to be at the video. I get to do my hair, put on nice clothes, right? It's about being at the table where we get to pick the menu, because we've had billions of dollars slated for us, right? Like the $700,000 house on land that was given to for free, right? Slated for us, but then used to push us out. And we have to continue to talk about the RCA money when, again, it was used, and that's only one avenue, one part of the program that was audited and that money was found. What about the entire program? So again, that's us.
You didn't finish your sentence.
No, again, it's been the plan. We have to do something to end it. And it has to be a long vision. It can't be short. And it has to have everybody at the table.
Thank you.
Carrie Butch, 500 Deal Lake Drive. I've been talking to you guys, or to the council in Asbury Park, since the mid-90s, early 90s. And I remember talking to you guys, talking to the council at the time about the waterfront redevelopment plan. I remember Eileen was standing next to me at one of the meetings at the Berkeley. And we had the audacity as a community to circle acreage on the waterfront and tell people they had to leave. Rita's business was taken from her how many years ago?
2009.
2009, 13 years ago. What's there now? An empty lot. The people that invested in Asbury Park, the people that were here, deserved to benefit from the redevelopment of Asbury Park. That didn't happen. The deal was brokered by a corrupt city council, by a corrupt city manager, and now this is where we're at. What you are reading about in the paper is corruption. It's absolute corruption. So you're going to have to, even though you didn't do it, your hands are clean, you're going to have to fix it. You're going to have to address it. You're going to have to make it right. And you're going to have to make the commitment to this community that not one more person gets displaced. Not one more. Even if you have to take that stupid development that's on Memorial, buy eminent domain, and put in real affordable housing, all of the units. You took the waterfront, you can take another place by eminent domain. And I'll be the first one to march for you to do it. Because we gave away the waterfront for pennies on the dollar. I've been paying my taxes. Everybody else here has been paying their taxes. All of the rents that are just exploded. It's what we did to this community, what we allowed to happen to this community, what this administration allowed to happen to this community. What every administration since I've been here has allowed to happen to the city of Asbury Park is criminal, and it is soulless. It is soulless. Get it together or else pass the baton.
Thank you, Karen.
Hi, I was going to come at the tail end. If anybody else wants to come up, come up.
Your time's going.
You know, it doesn't sound like the mic is on.
Your name and address for the record.
Start the time.
Good start.
Do you hear that?
Your name and address for the record.
What?
We can hear you.
I'm sorry.
Your name and address for the record.
You can hear it? Okay. Because I couldn't hear a lot of what people were saying tonight. I too was very shocked with the size of
Maureen, we
the
need your
collection.
name and address.
Maureen Nevin, new address, Ewing, New Jersey.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I had a radio show, 6.5 years. The purpose of the radio show was to have people on from the government and the city who could tell us, who could tell us what they see is going on. People who could share the rumors that they heard. There was nothing but rumors when I moved here in 2000, actually the end of 99. Rumor about this, rumor about that. I said, let's get rid of all the rumors by having the truth right out there on the radio, plugged into the, eventually, the internet, and people can call in and say, no, that's not true because of such and such. And I would have, well, I started out with promises that the council, a member, or maybe the mayor, I forget now, it's a long time ago that I started the show, that was 2000, that they would come on weekly or monthly. That soon dropped by the wayside. There's not a lot of transparency in this government. And I have to say that even if it's contrary to what the paper is saying, and that none of you knew about what was going on, I still want to know why you didn't know it was going on. This is a very small town. People talk. You know, you don't get away with anything in this town. But then you find out, oh yeah, somebody did, or a lot of people did. And the buck stops with you guys. I would like to know, and by the way, I'm living in Ewing because I couldn't afford an apartment here, and I couldn't afford to keep my house. And why couldn't I afford the apartment? Because I was going to use the proceeds from the sale of my house to pay my rent. And the property managers are so big and strong now, they have a policy. It says they will not take the proceeds of the sale of your home as proof that you can make your rent. Yeah. So this is a bigger problem. You heard from all these people tonight. It's even bigger than what they've described. This is about ageism. This is about deciding how much money you have to live where you want to live. This is a big issue. And we need you guys to get educated. Go to whatever seminars or whatever you can and find out how to deal with it, please.
Okay, thank you.
Tracy Rogers, Sewell Avenue. First, I want to say we have Lanice here, one of the ladies that was damaged. Lanice is here, the person that was damaged. And first of all, I want to say, me and John sat in the room with the ex-city manager. And John did say, whatever it takes to fix it. I'm asking, because John is only one vote, that it has to be a collective vote to go against that manager to make sure that we live up to this solution. Let's forget about these papers and articles. That's the garbage now. The real thing today is April 27th is a solution. And I want to know, and I want you to know that all these people that came out, they told their stories. They let you know how they feel. They let you know they want to live here. They want to be here. We all love this city. And collectively, we have to come up with a solution. And everyone has to be at the table. There are people who have been not at the table, and I'm going to say it, Black and brown people, lower income people, working families, everybody has to be at this because there are a lot of people coming in with a lot more money, and it speaks. So today, it isn't about, let's forget about those articles now. Let's talk about the next article is going to be the solution. And I'm asking the mayor, whenever we want to start, I'll be at the table. So thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Anybody else like to speak? Motion to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public comment portion of the meeting is now closed.
Before we go on, I'm going to say a couple words, and it may not make sense, but I apologize. As much as everybody was shocked, I'm blown away by the article. I think the article was a fair article on both sides. There was obviously mistakes made in the past. It was brought to our attention in 2019. Tracy has been bringing this to my attention. We have been trying to work together. I agree. I agree. The past is the past, but it cannot be forgotten. So I disagree with that. We have to correct the past. And I know you didn't mean it that way, Tracy. And we have to go forward, and that's something we will do. I don't know if we'll do like what Jim said, Fred, look into that ordinance. I think we all heard you loud and clear. And again, as much as all you were mortified with the articles, believe me, all of us were just as mortified. Nobody knew about it. Again, when I said in the paper, Mayor Sanders, Mayor Johnson, Mayor Campbell didn't know about this either. I hope that's not what you were talking about, because honestly, they'll tell you they didn't know about it either. So nobody knew this was being run wrong. Should have been picked up on, wasn't. We know it now. We're trying to work, and Tracy can help us with fair share to solve this. And we know we have to make people whole. We know we have to make the system whole. And we know we have to go forward. And, you know, as far as, it doesn't show it with this past 4 days of articles. But we have passed, you know, any new project has to have 25% minimum affordable housing. We did pass numerous ordinances as far as low income and everything, rent control. So we've been doing a lot, but obviously this one, definitely, like, you know, the city, anybody says the city did not screw up is just like, lives underneath the rock. The city screwed up. I don't think it was anybody in the room now. Some of it did happen since I've been on council, no question about it, and Tracy and I have talked about that. I've heard everybody loud and clear. I remember many years ago, being your softball coach. I know we appointed you to the planning or zoning board before you moved out. So, and that's something that we're always looking for, and change subject for, we have a big problem we've always had, and Myra would tell you, Jim would tell you, getting minorities to volunteer for committees. So again, there's openings on planning, zoning, whatever. The more minorities we can get to apply, the more we can get people brown and black to the table. Anything we can do, we're not pushing this underneath the rug. You may not have answers in 2 weeks. You may not have total answers until we settle with fair share. Again, I think we made fair share several offers. That's something I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Don yet, because Tracy told me something this afternoon where I thought our offer did go to fair share. I'm not sure if it did or not. So we're going to take this seriously. We did. I said, like, we look like the biggest boobs in the world with this article, and Asbury Park is not the biggest boob in the world. And unfortunately, this happened to Asbury Park. I agree with Tracy. There should be a statewide investigation, because it could happen here, it could happen anywhere. So I would just feel sorry for that mayor and council when it hits them in the face. Again, I apologize, and that's all I can say is we'll move forward together. Thank you.
And I just want to follow up on John. Linda, you asked if we were all committed. I'm speaking on behalf of the rest of the council. We are all committed to fixing this problem and moving the city forward in the right way.
Yeah.
That's two votes.
To what?
Come on, everybody's commitment.
Are you committed?
Of course.
Are you committed? Yes. You got 4.
That's all.
Hey, Jim, what did Bruno say? What did Bruno say?
I don't remember.
You need 3 votes.
You only need 3.
Hasn't been here
Okay.
for long.
Again, thank you all. Go to the meeting.
We are now on to the minutes. The minutes will be deferred until the next council meeting. We are on to the consent agenda resolutions. We have 22-197, a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the State of New Jersey Department of Public Safety, Division of Highway Traffic Safety under the Click It or Ticket 2022 Seatbelt Grant. 22-198, a resolution authorizing an appointment to the Housing Authority, and that appointee would be Carol Torre. 22-199, a resolution designating the appointment of a records custodian in the City of Asbury Park Police Department for the purpose of open public records and litigation matters, and that appointee is Captain Daniel Kasalik. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second?
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to individual resolutions. Resolution 22-178, a resolution amending the temporary budget appropriations for the 2022 budget.
Second?
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore. Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-200, a resolution approving the payment of bills. I'm looking for a motion.
Second.
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
No.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
I vote no, the bills fail and nobody gets paid.
Right.
Correct, Mayor.
So you backed me into a corner, Eileen.
I did.
I vote yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Resolution 22-201, a resolution to backbill sewer charges on various accounts.
Move it?
Second.
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-202, a resolution awarding a contract for Sunset Lake Pond Management.
Move it?
Second.
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-203, a resolution authorizing an emergency rolling door repairs needed at the wastewater treatment plant.
Second.
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-204, a resolution authorizing the submittal of a 5-year zone development plan and project proposal number 1, public safety offset for the business community for the urban enterprise zone.
Move it. Second.
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-205, a resolution authorizing the submittal of a 5-year development plan and project proposal number 2, UEZ Business Development Director for the Urban Enterprise Zone.
Move it.
Second?
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-206, a resolution authorizing the submittal of a 5-year zone development plan and project proposal number 3, Workforce Development Employment Training Grant for the Urban Enterprise Zone.
Second?
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
22-207, a resolution authorizing the submittal of a 5-year zone development plan and project proposal number 4, Facade and Walkway Improvement Grant for the Urban Enterprise Zone.
Move it?
Second.
Roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-208, a resolution authorizing the submittal of a 5-year zone development plan and project Proposal number 5, micro business lease subsidy grant for the urban enterprise zone.
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-209, a resolution to approve a place-to-place transfer of plenary retail distribution license number 130344-039-007, trading as Mac on Main Liquors, to a new location of 1500 Main Street, Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Move it. Second.
Roll call, Councilmember Chapman.
No.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-210, a resolution to approve a place-to-place liquor license transfer and expansion of premises for R Bar AP LLC.
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-211, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city council to execute a discharge of mortgage for Catherine Garvey for a property located at 1210 Fifth Avenue, Asbury Park.
Second.
Roll call, Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 22-212, a resolution approving the form of the small wireless facility right-of-way use agreement to be utilized in connection with applications for the use of the public rights-of-way for communication facilities or poles.
Second.
Roll call, Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We are now on to ordinances for introduction. We have ordinance 2022-6, an ordinance establishing a restricted parking space for handicapped persons at a property located at 1508 Grand Avenue in the city of Asbury Park, and amending and supplementing Section 7-36 entitled Handicap Parking of Chapter 7 Traffic of the revised general ordinances of the city of Asbury Park, with a public hearing date of May 25th.
Move it.
Second.
Roll call, Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. Yes. Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We are now on to adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now adjourned.